My stepdad is fighting for his life right now in the hospital. He's 90 years old. And what I have done is I drew a sketch of him when he was a young man, about maybe 25 years old. This is what he looked like. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Army, and he served as a paratrooper in World War II, and I believe also during the Korean War. And I have decided to honor him by making him a narrator in my book. So I have two narrators in my book, King David and my stepdad. And I'm just going to include this picture in my illustrated novel. So I'm letting you see the picture of a major character in my book who is my stepdad. I have a cold and continue to pray for him and for my mother. This is really hard on her because it really hurts her to see him suffering like this. And though my men have informed me that Jesus talks to him in his dreams right now, continue to pray for him. But regardless of what happens, my stepdad is working out really good as a main character in The Forbidden Abyss, Jesus the Eternal Bridegroom, which is going to be the title of my next book. He's still in intensive care. I believe they're going to take the breathing tube out of him today, but it's not looking good. So just pray for my mother too, because this is going to be really hard on her. But as a result of thinking about my stepdad, I have decided to make him a major character in the book that I'm currently working on. I drew a portrait of him today based on what he looked like when he was 25 years old. And that's because his character in my book is going to be in heaven. He's going to be part of a lot of my characters are heavenly characters. These are people that are in heaven. And, he's going to be telling my story. He'll be a narrator character. I'm going to have two narrator characters, King David and my stepdad. My stepdad will be the eyes and ears through which you will hear my story in this book. And he's a really good choice because he's level-headed and yet he's a good man. And so he's going to help lend some believability and credibility to the, I think, anyways, to the story. Because some of the things that I will be sharing in the story are kind of hard to believe. Anyways, I already started writing chapter 3 with him in there, and he's working out beautifully as a character. He's making the scenes just... He's like a perfect choice for a narrator character. And anyways, I'm going to introduce you to him with this drawing, which I'm featuring at the beginning of this video, and continue to pray for my mother and for my stepdad. This is so hard on her. He's known me since I was 20 years old, so he's going to bring a unique perspective to this story. It'll be through his heart, eyes, and ears that you're going to hear my story in the sequel to The Forbidden Abyss Part 1. And you'll also be hearing it through the character of King David. So I have the narrator characters are the characters whose mind you go. In other words, you're going to view the story through them. You'll see it through their eyes. That's what a narrator character is. And I'm using a layered narrative technique like Wuthering Heights, where your main characters, who were Heathcliff and Catherine, are not your point of view characters. And you're actually going to view the story through the heart, eyes, and ears of characters who are kind of like outsiders, insiders. It's kind of a very similar setup to Wuthering Heights, where we view the story of Catherine and Heathcliff through Lockwood and the housekeeper, Nellie Dean. So any of you familiar with Wuthering Heights are going to be familiar with how I'm setting up this story. Continue to pray. But regardless of what happens, I think it is the right thing to make my stepdad a major part of the book that I'm writing. And I'm going to be doing that. And I looked through a video that he gave me in 2004 about his life, and I kind of I'm going over it so I can get into character, so I can write his part. And like I said, the one scene that I did with him is working out really well. He's going to work out very well as a narrator character.